Yeah, man. Okay, it's the 31st of October, 2022. It's been a nasty day. I mean, a horrible day with about five gang stalkers, out loud broadcast telepathy, physical torture with broadcast, nonstop talking, where they've got this thing where they love to say whatever it is that I'm thinking, and it's like five of them like really trying to compete for that when I have a thought. So it really starts to hinder your ambitions to think about things because you don't want to think because as soon as you have a little, just the slightest little thought, one of these idiots is jumping on it and they're like saying it at you. And it's like, that's the game that they play. Also, they've been back onto my left knee today, attacking my genitals today. They've been on my eyes, in my mouth a lot, and some pretty nasty broadcast attacks in my abdomen area. It's been one of the worst days, really. These Howard Circle gang stalkers of Viva La Crucial from Atlanta. I don't know why they call themselves some stupid name like Viva La Crucial. It's the dumbest name I ever heard of. They're not even Mexicans. Viva La for a bunch of old white dudes talking about Viva La. So if you have gang stalkers, and the reason I started saying broadcast telepathy rather than artificial telepathy, because it gets people confused. Okay, when you say artificial telepathy, which is what it is, part of neural monitoring and EMF broadcast, it's one of the things that they can do with neurological broadcast frequencies and neural monitoring. So, but if you say artificial telepathy, people get confused and they start to think that, because a lot of people haven't experienced it personally, but a lot have. All right, and the ones that have know what I'm talking about, but the ones who haven't, they assume like that it's this voice in your head or like a premonition or just like something from an outer source. And it can kind of be that sometimes, but that's not when it's out loud. Okay, it can kind of be that when you're just connected with people. Like if you're not having out loud broadcast telepathy from gang stalkers, then and you are being gang stalked, then there's a good chance that those are the kind of things you're getting and you don't realize it. Like those weird thoughts that are going through your mind. And sometimes when something just hits you, you just know, and it's not you. It's because one of them knows something and you're connected with them. And that takes a lot of practice, I guess you would call it, or experience. Okay, a lot of experience. Like I have a lot of experience because I have these idiots on my channel every day for a decade. So try having some idiots connected with you for 3,500 days in a row and see if you don't start to be able to distinguish the differences between my Siri just came on. No thanks. Go away, please. I don't even know why that just came up. I don't think I said anything, but maybe I did say something that resulted in that coming up. I'm sitting here looking at my phone and all of a sudden it comes up. I ain't gonna say it again if I did say it, but anyway, it's horrible to be connected with a bunch of idiots and this Howard Circle family and the Viva La Crucial terrorist organization gang stalkers from Atlanta. These guys use neural monitoring and they're addicted to mind control. And all they do is stay on mind control and receive people. They receive your neurological processes, all of them, everything. So it's like I started to know for certain. They came out loud. Out loud is different than just kind of catching something like a thought and trying to distinguish whether it's yours or not. Out loud, these idiots are talking. You hear them out loud. And it's hell to deal with. It really is. But all the way back, probably late 2015, maybe early 16, is when the cat was out of the bag. They know what I'm thinking. Every detail of everything. They can see what I see because my mind is processing that. if I close my eyes and I imagine a genie coming out of a lamp, then they see that genie coming out of a lamp. And it's likely one of them will be mind blown by these imaginary visions and be like, oh my God! That's how these idiots act. And they scream in low girl voice settings, and sometimes they'll try to do these like sinister sounding voices and try to sound like they're real intimidating, and it's laughable. It's laughable. They're a bunch of pathetic old men sitting around that are worthless, the most worthless, nastiest little people. They're pathetic. They really are. So that's really kind of how gang stalking works with broadcast telepathy. When they start to come out loud, you don't have to hear them dispersing through a water faucet or some kind of medium where you could kind of hear them in it, or you just get it. It's almost like a premonition. That's prior to them coming out loud. Once they come out loud, it's over with. There's no more in-depth stuff. And you know what they're capable of, that they can receive your neurological processes, and then they're dumb idiots, so they're blown away by your creativeness, and you can't get rid of them. You can't get rid of them. They're like some kind of STD that you can't get rid of. They just won't go away. They're disgusting parasites. They really are. And it's been a decade now for me and these guys. Now, when you have these type of gang stalkers, you have the main one. Usually there's a main one. Okay, and I got a main one. At first, Marcus was on every day out loud, and they started physically torturing me. The other guy came on. He's been the main guy. So he came on in 16 with Marcus, and he's been the main guy that controls a lot of the stuff. Now, he's not the one that controls my neural monitoring. He was allowed on. There's this girl that has possession and control of my neural monitoring. She buys neural monitoring like a human trafficking slave trader. And she negotiates with all these dopehead morons in her little circles that she could put on as gang stalkers. Now, this main guy, he gets to sit there and try to operate all of the controls and things like that. So, he can put certain guys on and control the different things. And it's like they could sit there and run the switchboard. Basically, you have all the settings on neural monitoring, and they might be seeing your view from your mind, or they might be seeing you from a broadcast, so EMF view, or they might be seeing you from a reflection EMF view, or they might be seeing you from your phone that's pointed towards you, because they can hack through that and get that view. They got all of this stuff. That's why they want to have control of your devices. They won't go away. They're infiltrating your home. They don't have cameras in your house. They don't need them. Everybody's always looking for the cameras. I was the same way. There's nothing, I'm not some genius that just knew all of these things to begin with. These are things that you learn in time. You learn how this stuff works. And in the beginning, like 2015, like when I first really knew that I was being gang stalked, it was all the way to 13 when it was happening. But it was more like street theater and like physical torture before they were talking out loud, so I didn't know to relate it to them before they started bragging and talking trash while they physically attacked my body. A bunch of grown men attacking other grown men's genitals from a safe place, of course. Of course they would be from a safe place. The Viva La Crucial gang stalkers attack men's genitals from a safe place only. It's way too coward to try to confront somebody in reality, in the real world circumstance. A bunch of pathetic fat losers. All right, so I was looking for the cameras, looking for the microphones, trying to figure out, how all this stuff works. It works from broadcast. They can see you from your view. They can see you from a broadcast that they're connected to, controlling, living as, like a virtual reality in their mind, while they got a mind control thing on things over their eyes, and they're receiving a view. But it's not virtual reality, because that virtual reality would be only existing in some digital realm. This physical broadcast exists in the physical earth where humans are. So it's not virtual reality. Okay, maybe it's the metaverse. All right, but That's their capabilities. They can see you off reflections. They can see you. If there's a camera around, they can surely hack into that. If you've got a camera system, they can surely hack into that and get that view. They even used to mess around with. I had a baby monitor that I would set up in a little screen that I could carry around with me, and I would set it like in my window or something like that, or wherever I wanted to. I could set it up wherever I wanted to, and there was times where like they would have like a whole mutant person look like a X-Man mutant with like a rifle or something like sitting outside my window, that I could see on this baby monitor and this broadcast. And there's times they would always disconnect it. They would disconnect the signal from it, always doing stuff like that. They have control over things like that with broadcast. When they're a broadcast, they can do a lot of things with frequencies, and it doesn't necessarily have to be hackable. Like plugged in with a network or Wi-Fi or whatever. They can hack things that aren't exactly hackable things. They were hacking my Samsung baby monitor that was not Wi-Fi or anything. It was radio to from the camera to the thing. I still have it. And they were hacking that and causing it to go out with the signal all the time. Every time I connected, they would just disconnect it when they felt like it. And it's mainly this one. And I think the main guy that sits there and with the switchboard controlling the views, and which idiot is on broadcast or on live stream torturing me at that moment. I think it's his little brother. Or his son or something. Because you can tell he's the youngest one. This is one I call Birthing Yak. And he's the one that he just came back on like a year ago when I started school. That's about the time he came back on. He was around back in the day on with Marcus back in like 2015 and 16, some with Marcus and James and Kimberly and Emily or Emmy, whatever her name is, and the rest of these morons. But Antoine and all of them, there's a whole group of them. Like they're all part of this Viva La Crucial. And, and then they got a couple subgroups. So it's a lot of people that have neural monitoring. There's a lot of people that have neural monitoring, and these guys are absolutely using it as a form of terrorism. They use it for torture. They've been attacking me all day long, and so here I am again talking about it. I shared stuff all over the place. Their so-called leader is my next move to go ahead and do the FBI report about him, just to put it out there to I'll probably do a video about it, and I'll do the IC3, whatever that FBI Internet Crimes Division thing is, and because not just Internet crimes, but that's where you have to start. You have to start with things that are against the law right now without writing new laws. Obviously, you have to start somewhere. So I'm going to start there, and it's very unlikely that they'll do anything. I'm going to have to have the evidence organized, and that's very difficult because of the way that they're just waiting for me to open up put something into a device where they can get into my files and corrupt, delete, destroy my evidence. That's what they do. But that's what I'm gonna have to do is figure out how to get past all that and be able to put everything together, get some attorneys and go and start filing warrants and lawsuits, all criminal charges, all at the same time. Once I'm able to have it all in order. And at that time, all of these 25 police reports back in Clayton County, Georgia, and about these people, and the reports to the FBI and every other agency that were all disregarded, and I was never even contacted back, not one time. That's a financial liability. And that's one of the things that can lead to, hundreds of thousands, if not millions and millions of dollars worth of lawsuits because they're negligent. And it's caused me to have to be tortured and suffer, and not to mention all the financial liabilities just from these gang stalkers. Like, how successful would I be if I didn't have 5 or 10 idiots trying every minute of every day to hold me back, to make it miserable, torturing my body, to physically disable me, to be debilitating, And then they have to just hear them all day. And then I can't even think, because as soon as I think a tiniest little thought, I got one of these idiots bursting out like he's in a race with the rest of the idiots to say back to me what I'm thinking, or either announce it for his live stream, EMF broadcast, Gang Stalker live stream. You hear me talking about this stuff for 7 years now. What do you think? I'm just some kind of creative madman that could just make up a bunch of stuff like this? Anyway, that's what's going on. It's been a horrible day of torture. I'm about to load this video and share it about 50 times around everywhere I can find. And then if they continue, I'll be doing another one in a little while, because I'm just going to flood everything again like I've done in the past, because these idiots, they want to make a bunch of noise. So that's what we're going to do.